hangouts are going away August 1st. All right, hello, folks. We're live for Stout Sunday. And I mean, what am I saying? Wildcard Wednesday? Got me confused. What's what happens when you wake up at 2:45? All right, Stout Sunday's coming on Sunday.
Well, not on my. If it's happening, it's going to be on your channel this weekend because I will be out of town this weekend.
Okay, so sorry for that faux pas. So we're going to do Wild Card Wednesday, and then next week we're planning to do Wild Card Wednesday, and then the next week in August, at least that's provisional. We're planning, if it exists, this format, we're planning to do more of the talking about reviewing beers and scoring beers. Okay, so who is furthest west? I think Drunken One is furthest west, right?
I'm south. I'm Texas.
Yeah, southwest. So you can go first and tell us what you've got.
Oh, all right, awesome. I have the Steel Reserve 211. I'm sure y'all have seen them before.
Yes.
8.1% high gravity lager. It's 243 calories. It's put out by the Miller Brewing Company, and the style is considered a malt liquor, although it says high gravity lager. And that's what I got today.
Yeah,
slow brewing for exceptional smooth flavor.
Yeah, a malt liquor is a high gravity lager, so it's just a name that was invented to get around liquor laws, and that name is, it's not really being used so much anymore because it's not really, the liquor laws aren't it so strict anymore. Now let's see, I'm in Louisiana. I think that's the next western. Well, I'm in the South Central, but I have the original Club Tales watermelon margarita. The taste of summer sweetness, just add salt. Well, I'm not adding salt to it. Premium cocktail, a malt beverage with natural flavors and certified color. Oh boy! Now you always want food coloring in your beer, right?
That's fun.
And it's a flavored ale, and it's produced by a company called Geloso Beverage Group, which was established in 1957, and it's from Quebec, Canada.
Oh, I was thinking that was an InBev brand. That's not owned by InBev?
No, it's owned by a company called Geloso, and founded by an Italian immigrant in 1957, and it is from Laval, Quebec, Canada.
Huh.
An import. I'm drinking an imported beer, and I know someone else is too. Now, let's see. I think north of me in Tennessee is Brass Tacks, and he's going to tell us about his beer. Maybe he's not. All right. Okay, so we're going on. If we don't wait, we're going to John Anile. He's in the Atlantic coastal state. Oh, wait. All right. Brass Tacks, you're about to get skipped. You're in Tennessee, so he's going to tell us about his beer.
All right. So I got the Bud Ice. Actually, it's Bud Premium Ice Lager, the full name. And it's 5.5%. And I've had it before. My first experience with it was when I was a little bit broker, like in my earlier 20s. And I just remember leaving the gas station when I first bought it. Like I was probably like 21. And there was a homeless guy outside the gas station that kept yelling, 5.5, 5.5. And I had no clue what he was talking about because I really wasn't into beer at the time. And later realized that he was talking about the ABV.
Wow.
Huh. Right. That's cool.
Too bad Dr. Dave, you'd have rolled that can to him.
I couldn't control it.
Now on to Georgia, one of the original 13 states, named after King George II. Okay.
All right. Well, I have the Bell's Porter. Bell's Brewery is out of Comstock, Michigan. It says robust porter. It is 5.6% alcohol by volume. A very fresh sample. This was May 29th, 2019. This was packaged on. So Well, I mean, I say relatively fresh for a Bell's beer in my area. For whatever reason, Bell's does not list the IBUs for any of their beers on the label or on their website. This particular beer, I'm going to look it up when you come back around to me for my actual review, but I believe it's won a silver or gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival. It does say on the label that it is award-winning, so I'm going to look that up, and I'll get back to you on that. But anyway, I've never had this beer before. I've had a lot of porters, and I thought I've had this one, but I have not. And they did update the label within the last year. We were talking about this a little bit off air. It's kind of got like a, like when you go to the Home Depot or Lowe's and you're looking for paint, like it's got the the different spectrum of brown color on there.
That's a fresh label.
Yeah, I like it. So anyway, I will. I'm excited to try it.
Now, going to further up the Atlantic coast to another one of the original 13 states, formerly New Netherlands, is Michael Komarov on the western end of Long Island in Brooklyn. It's got Black Boss.
This is called Black Boss from Poland, and it's a 9.4% porter. And this is what the pour looks like.
9.4.
See, this is what the pour looks like.
Whoa.
Kind of a beige head, maybe half a finger, a little less. Very nice head. It's holding, head retention is good and seems to be holding up. Dark brown color.
Okay, now going even further up the East Coast, another one of the 13 original states, we have Jesse, and he's going to tell us about his beer, which I know I've never had that one.
Yeah, so this is from Long Trail Brewing Company. They're out of Vermont, and this is out of a survival pack. What they call their survival packs, or well, it's a mixed pack, but they call them the survival pack. And it seems like each season of the year they put a different IPA in that you can only get in the survival packs. So this one's batch number 4 IPA. Comes in at 4% ABV. And it says that it has Simcoe, Citra, and Chinook hops.
All right. 4%.
I was shocked too.
All right. It's pretty low, yeah.
Super session.
Yeah.
Yeah, true that.
That is for sure. Now I'm going to go back. Let me see something here. I want to check something real fast for Michael's benefit. Crap. All right. Well, that's going slow, so we'll
Well, for Michael's benefit, I just looked up, if you're interested, we're talking about IBUs for the Bell's Brewery, and it says on their website, why don't we list IBUs? There's a difference between absolute bitterness and perceived bitterness. IBUs are useful for home brewers for the purpose of clone recipes, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. And we've talked about this before off air about why Bell's doesn't do this, because they don't want people to be turned off by the perceived bitterness of a beer just from the IBU rating. So anyway, it goes through this whole spiel about why they don't list the IBUs. And then at the bottom, it does list the IBUs for this beer. 33 IBUs.
Well, they're right about that. They're right about the perceived and the actual number, because I've had a lot of beers that are 100 IBUs and they don't really even taste that bitter.
Right. Yeah. Hop Stupid is 102, and that one is one that I can actually drink and not be turned off by. But that's very, very high, 102. But anyway, they do. If you search, I guess, long enough on their website, you can find it. But they are not very. They don't just put it out there. They don't want people to miss. They don't want to misperception about how bitter their beers are based on the IBUs alone.
Yeah, that makes sense in a way, but still, people would like the facts.
Right.
Kind of readily. All right. Well, back to Drunken One. He's going to give us a rundown on his Imperial Lager.
All right, Imperial Lager. Let me wipe the wetness off the outside of the condensation. to reveal just a very few bubbles rising from the bottom to the top. It poured up with a very white head that dissipated quickly. The color is not quite as red as the camera makes it look, a little more goldenish. Its aroma is very heavy in malts. It goes down easily, very thick on the palate. No carbonation bite or anything weird like that. Very little. It kind of leaves a dry after you get it down. It kind of leaves a dry sensation on the back of your throat, and I don't really smell any alcohol, even though it's an 8.1. But yeah, it's I've got a little taste of it, and the flavor follows the nose quite a bit. Again, no real hops that I can detect out of it, but the malts are definitely there. It's a pretty good beer. And one more thing, I guess, now that I'm on here, the 211 mark was based on a medieval symbol for steel. It appears only on the Steel Reserve High Gravity Lager. They use twice the ingredients than most normal lagers, and they brew it twice as long as many quality beers. And that was read straight off of Rate Beer for your entertainment.
Yeah, and if you look on the Miller Coors website, they even give the ingredients list.
Oh, okay.
Ingredients list, actually.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd brew it. I'm a brewer, but I don't know that I'd brew it. It's not quite what I like. I'll give a rating later, I guess, as we come back around. But
okay, that's
isn't
fair.
that the way we do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah, I probably wouldn't brew it. I like it because it's cheap and it's it's more like beer pong, beer pong beer. When it's cheap, you're gonna get hammered quick.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get hammered. I bought that beer back in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and so on. I used to get it in 22-ounce bomber bottles, and they used to, when it was independently owned by Mackenzie River Corporation, I believe that's who made it, and it was inexpensive here, and it was 8.1, and I thought it was a little too chewy in my case.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't know, it's a little chewy. Not to say it was poorly made or anything. Then when Miller bought it, a couple of years after Miller bought it, they introduced a 6% version, and then the 8.1 disappeared from this area. Now the 6% I really like because it's much lighter. It's still got a lot of body at 6% after all.
Yeah.
It's just more like a strong lager, not an imperial, and it's a lot mellower, and you don't get smashed drinking a can or two. And I bought some from my neighbor across the street. I bought her a 6-pack of the tall cans. She had no concept of it. She's 74 years old, and she likes to try beer. But she said, boy, this is really good, So there you go. Totally unbiased because she has no interest in beer aside from drinking it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Totally unbiased approach. Now, I am looking at a very pink, pink
it is.
item. Watermelon margarita. I'm not adding salt to it. They recommend that, but I don't really want to make a goza out of it. The interesting thing about this product, it does have a little head of foam, but I mean it's very little. You can see a little ring of some pinkish white foam. It has. If you try a lot of these flavored ales and lagers like the Smirnoff, what's the other ones, John? Smirnoff.
Oh, well, you've got Smirnoff. What you've got the Cayman Jack is very popular now. You did a few of those recently. They have a couple of margarita flavors.
The Seagrams now, and the Mike's Seagrams, and then they have the Mike's Harder and Seagrams Spiked. Those are the 8%.
Right.
Which I find are better. The body helps to help ameliorate the sweetness. But this one, now those will have natural flavor. If it doesn't say natural flavor, I don't mess with it. But they all have artificial coloring. But except for that one I did this morning, which was clear, which was bizarre.
Oh, the lemon peel?
Yeah, lemon peel from Campanology Brewing up in Wisconsin.
That looked really weird.
And the taste
I think I'll steer clear of that one.
The taste was weirder than the bitter.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
this one here, this here does, interestingly, and my friend David has some in his house too, and he's been talking about, he was impressed by it. It has an actual watermelon flavor. It literally tastes like they took watermelon, made puree, and put it in the mix. Because you know how when you're eating watermelon and you get like that meat taste, the meat of the watermelon, and some people can't stand that because it'll be kind of grainy in their mouth, you know, granulated, and it makes them disgusted, but it doesn't bother me, but it is kind of granulated. You pick up that watermelon meat, and you even pick up the watermelon seeds, like maybe some seeds got mixed in, and you have that wood.
Yeah.
Of course, they got filtered out when they filtered it, but it's sugary. Okay, yeah, it's surely sugary. I think they said they use cane sugar. Doesn't taste like they're using high fructose corn syrup. But by golly, it does actually taste like watermelon. And a lot of watermelon beers, they don't really. They taste like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah. That's the two ways to describe watermelon: natural, real watermelon, or Jolly Rancher watermelon. Just like with grape, you have natural grape, and then you have like Grapico soda grape. A big difference.
And this one is not the dark side of it. This is the bright side of it. So for $1.69, and some stores are selling it right now two for $3, $1.50 a can, and you're getting a 16 ounce. I am very impressed with this, the original Club Tales. Now, back in the 1960s, when they first came out with Club Tales, it was not beer, it was vodka, tequila, rum, blended Canadian whiskey. It was actually those products, and they were put in a can like a mixed drink, like they had a Bloody Mary and all this. And it was 35% alcohol, I think. There might have been a problem trying to sell that around here, you know, so they decided to go with beer and drop it to 10 and make some breakfast. Steer clear of some state laws that would say no way, no how, you know. Now we're going to brass tacks, except he inexplicably disappeared. He said he would cut out kind of quick, but that was a lot quicker than I expected. I assume he likes.
I think it's probably because he was using his phone and he was having issues. It looked like
that phone is treacherous. He, I assume he likes Bud Ice since he brought it, and he had an interesting story about when he first heard about it. But so well,
doesn't come back, I'll just circle it.
Yeah, so he can come back if he wants. If not, it just will.
I'm not gonna, whatever it is. If it's more, his family's more important than Wildcard Wednesday. That's okay.
Right, and but we just won't be able to record the score. It'll just be one of those things, you know. Now going on to Georgia, Johnny Neely is going to tell us about a beer that I have some thoughts about it, but I won't bring them up right now.
Well, yeah, first time ever. I haven't even taken a sip. I wanted to do it live on your channel. Everybody gets the exclusive first-time reaction here.
Excellent.
So the head, it poured with about a 2.5, 3-finger head, which is kind of dissipated, but look at the nice lacing that's left behind there. The appearance is dark brown, almost black, but when you hold it up to the light, you get a little bit of some brownish hues around the bottom of the glass. The aroma, very roasty, toasty. You're getting some medium to dark roasted or darkly toasted bread. I'm getting a little bit of coffee, although this does not have coffee added. It's a standard porter, but it does have some coffee notes. Yeah, just super dark roast is what I'm getting on the aroma. 5.6% alcohol. You're not getting anything like any booze or any hop presence. Maybe a little bitterness will come through from the dark roast and the coffee flavors, but I'm not smelling any hops on the aroma. That's pretty much it. It smells good. It smells like a good classic porter, much like the Founders Porter and some of the other porters that don't have any of the additives in them, which is becoming very hard to to come by these days. Everything they want to add stuff to everything, chocolate and coffee and all that. This is a traditional porter. So it smells like a winner. I'm ready to get into it. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Go for it, baby. Go for it.
Jump in there.
Jump in
Very,
there.
very deep on the roast. It's almost got like a slight char to it. It doesn't really taste burnt, but it's so deeply roasted. Like you're getting so much dark, roasty character with this that it's almost kind of like Yingling Black and Tan, which is not the same style of beer, but you get a little bit of that char with that beer. That is sort of reminding me of that, but to a lesser extent. A little bit of caramel, but that's kind of hard to get to. It's hard to get through that dark roast to get to that, but it's there if you're patient with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of there on the back end. Definitely bready. It's pretty full bodied. It's medium to high on the body with this because of how roasty it is, even though it's only 5.6% alcohol. The carbonation is relatively low, but there's definitely a little bit of prickly carbonation with this. The flavors are spot on for a porter. This is what you can expect with this style of beer. The coffee's coming through a little bit on the back end, although it's not added coffee. It's got a little bit of a coffee roasty quality to it, and it's also got a little bit of bitterness. It 33 IBUs. I don't know what the hops are that they're using with it. You're getting a little bit of bitterness, but it doesn't taste like it's coming from hops. It tastes like it's coming from the roast, like from the coffee that's not added to it. Like you drink coffee black, you get that bitterness. That's kind of what I'm getting with this. And I think it's just because this is such a darkly roasted beer. The malts are so darkly roasted that's where that's coming from, not necessarily from the hops. It's very enjoyable. It's a classic representation, a true representation of the porter style, which I like. And I'm really enjoying it. I think I prefer some of the other ones more. I definitely prefer the Founders. Founders Porter may be my favorite.
Oh, I was about to say that, but you got
that's like that's the standard to which all classic porters shall be held to. Rating system. So, but I'm really enjoying this one. I have yet to be disappointed by a Bell's beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep sipping on it and give you a rating here in a little bit, but it's nicely balanced between the roast, the malt character, and then that little bit of bitterness on the finish. The body's not too heavy. It's nicely balanced. It's a great representation of the style, like I said, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad I picked up a couple of singles. So
yeah, sounds good.
Okay, now we are going to Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. This beer is similar to John's, but it does have more alcohol in it. It's 9.4, so I think there's a little bit more to this one. But it's just the alcohol is very well masked. It's almost like this to me feels like more of what you're drinking, like a little bit more than a session kind of thing. So this would be what would be considered a dangerous beer because you really can't taste the alcohol in this. On the nose, I'm getting that same kind of dark roasty malts that you got, but I'm not getting coffee with this at all. It's more just roasty, and I will take another sip. Got medium mouthfeel. You get the roast in the taste. This one, like yours, has a little bit of char also. So there's kind of like a slight smokiness to it, but it's not intense. It's more background kind of thing. It's not right in your face, but it's a little bit charred. Goes down pretty easy. There's a little bit of hop bitterness in it. I don't know the IBUs that go on the website. I don't read Polish either, so if it's in Polish, I guess sometimes you can translate it, sometimes you can't. So I don't know. I know, Ron, you've reviewed this beer in the past, this Black Cloth, I think.
That's right.
I'm enjoying it.
And in fact, now that you mention that, I just happen to have the review right here on hand
Perfect.
from September 9th. Isn't that a bizarre coincidence? September 9th, 2012, and there's no IBU listed right at all. Here's what I wrote. All those years ago, I said, Black Boss Porter has a medium beige head, a good amount of thick lacing, and a dark brown ruby under light appearance. The aroma is of smoke, chocolate, and coffee. Taste is of cocoa powder, charcoal, dark cherries, dark coffee, dark roasted malt, and sweetness. Alcohol shows up in the aftertaste to some extent. The mouthfeel is medium to heavy, and Black Boss Porter finishes heavy, semi-dry, and not particularly difficult to drink. Overall, this is a mild, pleasant, and potent Polish beer. I like it. Signed, RJT. How you like that review?
Yeah.
Nice review, actually. Like it.
Oh, thank you.
I like this one today as well.
Thank you. Most of the beers I drink, I do written reviews, but not always. Like if I'm at my friend David's house and he's saying, try this, try that, try this. Well, once I've had it, then I don't write the review because really I like to have the beer in my hand and I like to be sipping it, smelling it, drinking it, and writing the review as I'm having it. You know, I don't like to go from recollection. I don't feel comfortable with that. So, all right, now back before we go to scores, we got to go to Jesse. So never mind that.
Jesse.
Oh, let me just go. Let's go with the aroma.
Let me just go.
The aroma on, anyways. Kind of get a slight bit of like a lemon, kind of citrusy, towards the orange, like orange slice type citrus notes as well. I do pick up a slight bit of a malt presence, and also kind of an herbal spiciness, which I'm thinking is possibly coming from the yeast. It is very hazy.
Yeah.
I said before we started this, I could see all the sediment at the bottom of the bottle. So the flavor.
Excuse me. Right? Carbonated, huh?
Yeah, I kind of get a little bit of a grainy cracker type flavor. There's not a lot coming from the hops themselves in the flavor. It's kind of like a very mild citrus note with kind of a mild bitterness as well.
All right.
$4 ABV. I guess I shouldn't expect too much out of it,
Right.
since it's not a darker beer that would have more of those specialty malts added for more flavor. And yeah, it's kind of got a high side of light body feel to it, kind of a medium carbonation, and it's pretty watery.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. All I was going to say or ask Bumpy, and this my experience with the session IPAs for the most part is not very pleasant. Do you find that there's just too much like going on with the beer, like the hop character and all this other stuff, but because it's a 4% beer and it's low ABV, it's sessionable for that style. Do you think that it just doesn't support the flavor profile, or the alcohol doesn't support the style? So you get kind of like a watery half shell version of what you're supposed to get with an IPA.
Yeah, it's kind of like hop water with some grain added to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean,
Amen.
the best one I've had so far, and I think it was like what 4.7% ABV, I believe, is that all day IPA from Founders.
I was going to say,
That's probably the best
Brandon Craft Beer Force, he loves that stuff. That's probably the only session IPA that I've had that I've really been pleased with. All the other ones is just like the body and the alcohol and all that doesn't support what the style is supposed to be.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right. I mean, I was about everything y'all said. I was just about to say, and the problem with those beers like that Jesse's drinking at Bumpy Road is that there's a lot of payout, but there's not a lot of payoff. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not paying $7.99 for a 50 pack with this stuff. You know?
You're paying craft beer prices for a beer that has less alcohol than Michelob Ultra
And less flavor, probably.
and less flavor. Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna start ranting because I will really go berserk. Now, especially since I drank some of this liquid courage. Now 10%. Yeah. Hey, drunken one. Hey, man, you drinking at 8%, man. How's it going? Just
No,
before you get the score, let's read the comments before you get the score. Let's see. Live chat. Oh, boy. We have a lot of.
yeah, where are you going to start with that?
I'm going to go up to where it's stuck. All right. Ronnie S. says, greetings, beer fans. Clinking the mugs. John's going to leave you out there like a chump again, Ron. Oh, that's wrong.
Ronnie, that wasn't me. Well, it wasn't my fault. Ron filled in for me as a gracious host would do, and you guys left him. Well, Ronnie, you joined eventually, but it wasn't my fault.
I didn't have a beer that morning. There wasn't a beer left in the house after the night before. I'd have joined in.
Hey, and if I had done it, I'd have been left out there like a chump because nobody had us out. So
That's why I'm doing a video Sunday called Look Back in Anger on Style Sunday. Now, Soylent Green says he has a tie-dye shirt and a lax attitude. A lax attitude? You mean a relaxed attitude. Don't say lax. Now, Craig Swinson says, hello, everyone. I'm consuming a Lagunitas IPA. Steel Reserve on the panel tonight. I prefer Ice House Edge, but it's all good. Ronnie S. said, that's the drunken one. Ice House is pretty strong, a decent beer. Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like to buy 12 packs from time to time. Flacco's beer review says, cheers. Cheers to you, Flacco. You should be in this. Ronnie S. said, what's up, Flacco? What up, Flacco? In a progressive discussions, who could join tonight. If you can, you feel free to join. We always, or at least I did, always found those Polish beers very interesting. Oh man, look at all these comments. All right, I'm gonna try to go fast, y'all. I can read fast. Lawrence Hartnett says cans versus bottles. Is there a preference with the panel? In my case, no. Bucky Dent says cans all the way. Ronnie S says cans. Ronnie S says mugs and nugs. Lawrence Hartnett says, I know 3 Floyd cans and bottles, Zombie Dust and Gumball Head, 2 of its popular beers. I've only hit the bottles. Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, guys. And then Alex, the beer master, said, what's up, Jeremy? And then the Whiskey Scout said, me, Vincent, and Alex. Jeremy Vincent said, just working around the house after work, trying to get things done. Got a lot going on. How's things with you? Ronnie S. says, ABM in the house. John Womack says, hi to all. Jeremy Vincent says, in the house, in the outhouse. In the outhouse. All right. Alex, the beer master, said, what's up, Robert? What's up, Ronnie S.? Jeremy Vincent says, I'm in the outhouse, that is. Hi, John. Hello. Hit the like, says Jeremy Vincent. Good evening, gents. Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, gent. Kent. Oh, Kent. I was jumping ahead of myself. Kent Beer Review says, good evening, gents. Jeremy Vincent says, cheers, Kent. Kent Beer Review says, hi at Jeremy Vincent. The Whiskey Scout says, watermelon beer. I don't know about that. Jeremy Vincent said, me either, Whiskey Scout. Sounds kind of bad. What did you just say? All right. Lawrence Hartnett says, Edmund Fitzgerald from Great Lakes is a very good porter. Yes. Jeremy Vincent said, don't forget the date, guys. That's the most important part.
Oh, right.
Smiley face. Right. If it has no date, you automatically deduct it. Even it could taste great. Now, this is the best beer I've ever had, but I'm going to give it a B because it doesn't have a date. Put the damn date. You got to use that kind of thing. Now, Lawrence Harton says Founder's Breakfast Stout is one of my all-time favorites. Oh yeah, I love that beer. Or Robin and my friend David gave me a bottle to do on Stout Sunday, and what happened? I forgot it at his house. Bart Robinson says Steel Reserve Triple Export here, fresh and state, December 2019. Love it. Ooh, December 2019. That's a good one, Lawrence. Cool, Bart. And then Snag Alien says just did a beer review to edit from Tennessee Brew Works. You have a channel? I'll subscribe. I always watch everybody's channels, the ones that I can tolerate, which is most of them. Some you just can't. I was watching one yesterday. I was like, I'm not going to watch these videos. I'm unsubscribed. It was so.
Oh, is that why I lost a subscriber the other day? Huh.
Actually,
It wasn't you. It was two guys that thought they were funny. And I was like, well, your comedy is poor, but that's not really the problem. The problem is I thought I was watching Thinking Rotten beer review. All right. Shane Fudge says, hey, guys, I'm back from Europe with a jet lag from hell. Feels like a hangover. Oh, I'd be so miserable. Michael Hooser says, cheers. Jake Daniels says, Shiner Premium versus Dixie Lager Taste Challenge, please. People keep asking me about this. Shiner Premium versus Dixie. Oh, I suppose I'll do that. Awesome Snag Alien says, Jeremy, glad you're back. Shane, hope you had a great time. I've never been to Europe, y'all. Louisiana beer reviews has never been to Europe. The Whiskey Scout says, welcome back, Shane. Thanks. It's good to be back. Cheers to everyone in the chat, y'all. Rock my socks. Says John Emilio. Yeah, I didn't think that porter was that strong. John Womack says, yay, glad you made back safe, Shane. Lawrence Hartnett says, cheer, greetings from Cadiz, Kentucky. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Cadiz. Jeremy Vincent says, thumbs up. Cheers to the chat. Says, drunken one. Lawrence Hartnett says, a beer Belgian video would be cool. No, that's not my style. Jeremy Vincent says, I'm better in the chat. Ronald Sutton says, Trump rally was awesome. Sorry, joining late. Yeah, and if y'all don't like this video, y'all should go back where y'all came from. Now, Jeremy Vincent said, even if you're from here. Jeremy Vincent says, did it rain? Lawrence Hartnett said, Stag beer is a classic. And I enjoyed the Stag Ice, which was on the market for 10 minutes. Jeremy Vincent says, I was going to go to the global warming rally too, but it was too darn hot. Oh, Jeremy, you're just. The Scout says, yeah, heat is on. Jeremy Vincent says, flames in the sun. Subject Zero says, does the watermelon beer count as a serving of fruits and vegetables? Trying to eat healthy.
Nice.
Depends on if it's natural flavors or if it's
Right.
It is natural flavor,
So then I guess it would be.
I read all the comments, and that was a heck of a lot of comments. Whew. I'm absent-minded as it is, so I'm even more worn out than I was before. All right, now, I'm gonna say we're gonna give the scores quick. Drunken one, what do you score this beer?
I give it a 92. The date on it is I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but I mean, if you're into the Steel Reserve kind of malt liquor thing, then you probably appreciate it. Its born on date was July 23rd of 19. Excuse me, December 23rd of 19. So it's fairly fresh, right? Oh no, I guess that's the when that's best before buy. That's probably obviously.
I bet you that beer was made in the last 2 weeks, probably in Fort Worth, Texas. That is a fresh.
Maybe.
Those high gravity lagers, folks. If you get them fresh, they taste way better than even if they're a month old. Why? I do not know. But there's like a sunburst flavor, and then as each month goes by, that sun sets.
Yeah.
A lot. Now.
One thing I did notice is that you want to drink it cold. The warmer it gets, the less desirable it becomes. So if you get these, drink it cold.
It's like ice cream. It does not come across so good when it's warm. And for 92 out of 100
92 out of 100
for a beer that inexpensive is an incredible score.
Would I buy it again? Would I buy it again? Yes. Would I brew it for myself 5 gallons at a time? Probably not. It sounds like it'd be expensive to brew because it's got lots and lots of grains. Okay, I guess that's mine.
Yeah, you got to have the economies of scale that Miller Coors has to really make it cost effective.
Sure.
They're buying train loads of grain, you know. This the original Club Tales Watermelon Margarita, fascinating product, and people might roll their eyes. I'm sorry, I'm calling it. I always call it as I see it. I have no horse in the race, which makes it a lot easier.
As much as you like some of these products, Ron, you really should, next time you go to a Mexican restaurant or something, just get you a real margarita. I think you'd love it, man. You're always.
People ask me, do you think these canned cocktails taste like a real cocktail? And I say, well, I never had a real cocktail.
You need to try a real margarita just so you get a little bit of perspective and see what flavors these canned versions, these malt beverages are trying to emulate. I think you'd be pretty impressed with a margarita.
Yeah.
I think you should try it. That's something for you to do.
Let's see, I'm 51 years old, so I would say by the time I'm 91, I'm going to do it.
I think you should do it well before then, because you keep reviewing these products. You need to get a little bit more perspective on what the flavors are based off of as far as the actual cocktail.
I want to report in the next 2 weeks, young man.
Yes, we need a report from Mr. Ronald J. Terrio in 2 weeks' time of a margarita. From a Mexican restaurant.
I cannot take that kind of pressure. All right, last call. There is somewhat of an odd St. Joseph's Children's aspirin flavor with this, but I like St. Joseph's Children's aspirin. And secondly, I think if you had a headache, this would cure it faster than aspirin at 10%.
Yeah, I bet it would.
So
take 2 of these and come in the morning.
Right. So yeah, this is okay. I'm gonna score it body's not too heavy. Finish is nice. I'm gonna say 95 out of 100.
What? Nice.
Hey, well, you know, when it's pleasant and you can't really find any fault with it, why would you tear it down? You know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I only paid $1.69.
Oh, hell, you can't beat that with a stick.
It tastes good. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
The smell is nice. It seems to me that would be a lot of good attributes. Now over to brass tacks. Brass tacks.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, he knows that. He's cracking me up over there.
I think
he'd probably give it a 95, solid A. If I had to.
I say 93. I'll say 93. So we'll split down the middle and say I think he was probably going to give it a 94. I'm pretty sure about that.
I thought he was giving a score earlier when he said 5.5, but
that was the ABV.
Oh, Bumpy. Now, Bumpy, when we get to you, we want a percentage out of 100, if you could, please.
yes, I was aware of that, so I've already figured it out.
'Cause I wake up at night screaming and sometimes like trying to figure out this score.
Comparison. He does his comparison on his score thing, and then he puts it into the 100 scale for us.
I know. But I wake up and I'm like, oh, what was that? What happened? I was like, oh, I was just thinking about his scoring procedure. Oh well, I'm just
actually personally, I think it's a great idea, and I think we all really should follow suit. That's just me, and I'm not usually on these panels, but I think the way it's broken down, which he explains in his last video, trying to blow some rainbows up his ass there, right? But
that's right. You're right. He did make a video just this very day talking about that, and I said to myself, he's thinking, and he's trying to explain it to us. And this would be something great to bring up in August.
Part 2.
So they had my mind, fascinated. Well, anyway, John and Neely, what do you score that beer?
Well, guys, it's very sad that the Club Tales gets a higher rating than the Bell's Porter. But I'm going to give this a 93 out of 100, which is an A. The only reason it doesn't get higher is because I've had a lot of porters that are better than this. Founders Porter being the one that comes to the top of my, comes to mind first. The reason this doesn't get a little bit higher is because I would like a little bit more malt forward presentation. The charred element that I'm getting with this it's not unpleasant, but it takes away from any possible dark chocolate notes or caramel sweetness type notes that I would be getting. So if the roast was just maybe not quite as intense, I think some of those other flavors would come through. It's still excellent. It's a great representation of the style, like I said earlier, but it's just not as good as some of the other staples in the traditional porter style beer world that I've had. So 93 out of 100, excellent. I definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's very well done. I just I wish I was getting a little bit more malt character, I guess, would be my only gripe.
Hey, look. Oh, K-Diz. K-Diz says Lawrence Hartnett. Hey, look. John and Neely, when I drank that beer and reviewed it, I thought it had some kind of strange, funny flavor to it. I couldn't pin it down. That's not the only beer from Bell's that had some kind of funny, and I don't mean comical, I mean strange. There was something weird about it, like it didn't. I guess a better way to say this, there was something off about it.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything like that with this one. It's hard for me to kind of break through the really dark roast, borderline charred notes that I'm getting with this. There's not anything off with this one, this particular sample. Not to say that maybe in the past, maybe they updated the recipe a little bit with the new label. Who knows? But I'm not getting anything off. It's just a little too bold in the roast department, and it takes away from the other qualities of the beer.
Mm.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I mean, it's still excellent. It's still a 93, so I'm not really
Yeah,
I'm just being nitpicky,
You know, when you buy something with your own money, you have a right to nitpick.
That's right.
Now, well, actually, you have a right to nitpick even if somebody gave it to you. Somebody says, here's a beer, I'm giving it to you, now give me an honest review. Well, hey, now if I nitpick, you gave it to me and told me to be honest.
Right.
Let's see. Michael Comer, what do you score it?
I'm also giving it a 93, just like John did.
Nice.
And my comparison's a little bit different. I'm comparing it to the Zawiec, which is another Polish beer that's just a little bit stronger. It's 9.5. And that I gave a solid A, like a 95 or 96. And I didn't like this one as much. So this one, I think, has a little bit less. It's less vibrant. I thought the Zawiec was better. Do you remember reviewing that? Because I know you've had that as well.
The Zawiec? Yes.
Yeah, the Zawiec.
Or as the Germans used to call it, Zabusch. Zabusch.
So,
yes,
those
I
are
love that beer. I bought it in New Jersey, by the way.
Comparing
Or James P. Madonna likes to say Zawicki.
The wiki. Zawiec.
So I like that one better. This one is good, and we're also getting a little of the char in this as well, and it's imported. One good thing about this 16.9 ounce bottle at my beer distributor was only $1.89, which is a good price for what I'm, for a 9.4.
Oh yeah,
That's a great price for
yeah, it is.
imported beer. Now, I have a funny feeling, but Jesse is going to give us his score.
Let's see if I can match your funny feeling. Doing 100 score. I've pretty much most of the session IPAs that I've had. I've definitely liked more than this one. I'm going to give this a 78 out of 100.
Oh, wow. Now that's a C plus in your scale, would you guess?
Yeah, it's not something I'd definitely purchase on its own. I mean, if this was in the mixed 6-pack, the mixed 12-pack or whatever, again, And as long as there's 3 other beers that were really good, then I wouldn't shy away from it. If this was mixed in with another beer that really is kind of horrible, I would steer clear of the whole 12-pack.
That's a bad. It's not a bad score because a D would be bad, but in the context of paying what you probably paid, it's bad. Oh man, I don't want to get started. I really don't. I like somebody made a video today. What happened to Brute IPAs? I was like, they just came out. They gone already? Are Brute IPAs gone already?
Oh, I don't
No,
know.
they're not.
No, there's still people still making them. I've yet to have one I've really liked.
I was just starting to get interested in them.
I'm interested. I've liked the ones I've tried. I don't think they're catching on quite like the New England style IPAs have, and they're kind of. I think the companies that have put out the Brute IPAs are focusing more on the New England style IPAs because that's what's selling.
I didn't like that New Belgium Brute IPA at all.
I did. See, I like that one. How can we be friends and we don't? Ron, what? I didn't like that. Let me unsubscribe real quick.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't need to watch your stinking videos anyway. I'm kind of angry now.
Ron, I have a side story to tell, and John may know something about the beginning of this, but I can tell the whole story. I do my thing at the beach club every weekend, and at this weekend, I had one which was more novice oriented. And what that means is that some of the regulars were there. There were 7 of us, and there were some novices. And when you ask novices to bring beer, it doesn't have to be craft, I guess. I said craft, but I guess what one person's craft may not be what I think. So somebody brought a Modelo Negra. Now, I don't know. Some people might say that's craft. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Crafted by machines.
Okay.
Very fine machine. They got, it came in second place out of how many beers, right?
It came in second out of 16 beers. And I rated it highly because it was actually a clean beer. There was nothing wrong with it that I could find. And I don't look, when you're blind judging, you don't know what it is until after you find out. So I didn't feel bad that it did well. I thought it was fine. But it was some of the other people, the way they rated the other things, they weren't fair as far as I was concerned to some of the craft stuff. But it's still all done on the basis of what skills they have.
Right. And Modelo Negra is probably one of the best mass-produced beers in the world, in my opinion.
I thought it was okay. Some of the local stuff, which I thought would do extremely well, didn't do as well as I thought. But I mean, these things happen. You know, stuff doesn't always do as well as
if you're not willing to lay it out there and take the hits, why are you even doing it, right?
No, well, that's the whole thing. And I wrote when I did my write-up. I do write-ups on blogs and stuff. All I said was that there were some novice people there as well. That's not why that one did well, though. It wasn't because of novices. Because people, even the craft people who've done a lot of these, thought it was a finely produced beer, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, whatever. I was thinking of doing that tonight, but then I decided I'd rather do the Black Boss instead.
Yeah.
I got more of it. I will.
I know sometimes sometimes I can't make up my mind. Here's one I've got a review coming up for pretty soon. It's called, everybody keeps talking about it. It's Modelo Chilada Limón.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does that compare with the other chiladas we've been seeing that other people have done, or nobody's had that yet?
Well, I don't know. Some people have done reviews on it. It says lime and salt brewed in Mexico.
I've reviewed that one. It's not a people misunderstand. It's a chilada. A michelada has the tomato in it. A chilada, all that is lime and salt. So that's basically a standard beer with added salt and lime flavor. It's not tomato based.
Oh, okay. And it's beer with natural flavor, and it's okay. Well,
I thought it was pretty good. I won't give too many details away. I want you to. I look forward to watching your review of that. See what you think.
I'm curious. I got a good price on it, so I said, heck, because all the other stores you had to buy 2 for a certain price, and I was like, I'm not buying 2 of them. So I knew one day I would run across where I could get a single for a good price, and I did. Well, I hoped I would. So yeah, well, we had some really good beers tonight. The interesting thing about tonight was that a lot of the mass-produced beers scored as well as the doggone micro-produced or smaller produced.
Right.
Right.
All right. Any last comments? And I'll read the online comments, and then we'll shut it down.
I want to give Drunken One a positive comment on his tie-dye shirt. I like it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I have some of those too. I like them.
Yeah, I love tie-dye.
Far out, man.
Purple bracelet, purple wristband, and nobody tease me because purple's on the shirt. Right?
Tie-dye. Well, any last comment?
I'm looking forward to
where's the Scooby van?
John is getting psyched up for his Louisiana trip. I can see it.
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Don't run over any alligators.
Well, if it comes between me getting one of my limbs taken off and me running over an alligator, I'll run over that alligator.
I've been seeing a lot of alligators run over on the highway, literally. Hold on a second.
I hope I don't run across any alligators. That might be pretty scary in real life. Like,
oh, well, if I can show you some alligators. All right, and snakes. All right, now you love his tie-dyed shirt. Okay, well, anyway, all right, we'll read the comments. But I'm wearing,
Jeremy. I'm reading the comments also, but quietly.
Come on now, let's get together. All right, now I'm wearing, I'm in the spirit of the situation. All right. Oh, wait, we got some written comments over here. Which Brooklyn beers did you pick up today? I have some of their brown ale, says Michael. I like Brooklyn. He did the summer ale, I think. I got that on my watch later list. And he did the what's that other one you did? Johnny Miller?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I missed.
Brooklyn beer.
Sorry, what did you say?
You do them on your channel already? I haven't seen them.
Which one? I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
The Brooklyn beers.
Oh, yeah. I've been able to find a lot of. I did the East IPA earlier today, which was 2 years old. I'm gonna have to redo it. I did the summer ale, which was really good. That had a really fresh date on it. And then I've got one that I haven't tried yet. It's the Brooklyn Brown Ale. For whatever reason, the last 2 or 3 weeks, a lot of Brooklyn beers. I've been able to find a lot more Brooklyn beer. I've always had trouble with finding some of their lineup, but for whatever reason, they are blowing up here in Georgia. I'm finding all kinds of Brooklyn stuff.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I did the Pilsner yesterday. I think might be what you're talking about. The Brooklyn Lager is the staple. I've always been able to get the Brooklyn Lager, but the Brooklyn Pilsner, the Summer Ale, the Brown Ale, the East IPA, all of these are new to my area for whatever reason. So,
yeah, New Hampshire, we used to get them a lot, like the whole lineup, and I haven't seen anything except for the lager around recently. So,
but see, you're a lot closer to.
That's right. That's why it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Most of their beers are brewed in Utica, at the same place where Saranac is made.
All of the ones that I've had and reviewed, I've looked at them. They all say Utica, New York on them. So,
yep.
I've got that one in the fridge, Mike. I'm going to review that one later.
Okay, I think you're going to like it because it's a decent brown.
And it's got a fresh date on it. That's for whatever reason that one that I got. I guess I just pulled it off of the wrong shelf, and I got one that was really old.
November 19th.
Yeah.
Hey, I toured that brewery. Yep, I toured that brewery.
You have, or
no? I toured it 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, wow.
I have toured it as well a couple of times. It's in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
No, I'm talking about Utica.
Oh, I've toured the Brooklyn Brewery in Williamsburg. I have not been to the upstate area. I did.
So they have
I
two
went-
locations where they brew the beer, Williamsburg and Utica.
Well, in Williamsburg,
Maybe.
it's just their kegs. Just the
Oh.
kegs that they sell to restaurants and whatever are done in Williamsburg. Everything else, all these bottles,
Well,
everything.
everything that we're going to get as consumers, unless we
It's
go,
going to
is
come
gonna
out of
be
Utica.
Utica.
All right,
All
let's
kinds.
read these comments. Josh Abrams said, I enjoyed your video about sending beers. I was blown away about the fact that there is a beer that is $85 a six pack. Yeah, it was. And I bought it like a dum-dum, but I was so glad I bought it. Nick Jabingalo was hidden by John Anile. Good, John. You're a good administrator. I'm sure it was some ridiculous comment.
Yeah, yeah.
The Whiskey Scout says, Bumpy, tell it like it is. Jeremy Vincent says, Brute IPA business is brutal. Hans Gomez says, the Sparkler 6-point IPA is a brute and hazy, but the best brute and hazy I've ever had. And he says, the official Bell's is a perfect English New England IPA. I was impressed with that. Hans Gomez says, you want good beers? Two goes are very good. Two goes. I guess he means the gozes. Jeremy Vincent says, I love Modelo Negro, my favorite Mexican beer. Oh, he says the Whiskey Scout said, I haven't seen that chelada around here. It hadn't been around here too long, but I'm curious. But I didn't actually care for that chelada, says Jeremy. Uh-oh. Tip and
Did he add spice to it?
What?
Spices like chili peppers or anything.
You could, but I don't want to adulterate it. I just want to try it as it is. Tip and T says those are $4 for one here in Washington. $4 for one? For one what? Chelada? Oh no, I'd have never bought that. Travis McGee. Says, wow, drunken one didn't die from his birthday bash. I guess that's something.
Right. Imagine that.
Drunken one, the first person to wear a tie-dyed shirt to Wildcard Wednesday, I give it a 98 out of 100, says Jeremy. Drunken one says, Travis McGee still kicking. A lot of beer was killed, though, says Jeremy. Smiley. No sleep till Brooklyn, thanks, Jeremy. Jeremy says, no, I didn't try to add hot sauce to it. I should have, though. All right. Well, yes, that brings us to the end. So, any final last comments? We're gonna be looking at some stuff Sunday. So
Is there going to be stout? You're not sure.
well, assuming I'm around, I have a porter. It's not a stout, but I have a porter.
Porter?
It's called Victory at Sea.
That's a good porter, too.
For everybody out there in YouTube land that might be watching, if there is a Stout Sunday, it will not be on my channel. It will be on Ron's channel because I will not be home until late Sunday night. So
Yeah, and it's going to be called Look Back in Anger on Stout Sunday.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to watch that back later. It'll be a bunch of cursing my name and a bunch of
Not to be cursing. I'm not going to be cursing. I don't curse.
No. I didn't mean profanity. I just meant like
me doing my typical anger stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anger management for you.
It's a cockroach. Do something, will you?
What is that noise?
It's your tree, Frank. You're sitting in it.
Where's that coming from? Can you tell?
I think it's Ron playing a clip. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dolly. First one. Please give me a second chance. Not Dolly?
All right. So anyway, that's that. That's that. And let the sun shine in, folks. Let the sun shine in.
Wow. Where's your doobie? There's got to be a bong around here somewhere.